The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, good morning, everybody. You're probably wondering what I'm doing, but there's been I've always I've talked about the Beige Book a little bit over the course of time, and the Red Book comes out every week, I believe. It's a weekly data book, so it qualifies as a news report. I've always wondered if there's any trade there. I've never found one. Partially because sometimes when there's a weekly report like the weekly unemployment claims on Thursday, it takes a lot of news to shock the market. So even though it's a news report, it doesn't really do much. I think you follow what I mean. When you have a monthly report or a quarterly report, it doesn't take nearly as much to shock the market. So that's why those reports work well for us. But I've always been curious about the Beige Book, so I just felt like what I was going to do is I downloaded today's data, this morning's data, because I didn't test it live, and I was just going to put a trade on 2 seconds before the Beige Book takes place with a very small look back, just of 4 bars, I believe I did. So the clock I'm watching here, and this is just for my own amusement, at 57, 58, I'll put I just want to see if the Beige Book does anything. I doubt it, to be honest. It was 3.2 versus an expected of 2.9 for over the year, and negative zero point 0.1 versus negative zero point 0.3 month to month. And you could see certainly doesn't do much to the NQ. It's been 20 seconds already. So, and with the news report, I'm not looking at whether I'm in a consolidation or whether my Williams is up or down. With a news report, I'm just using the one click to manage the trade. That's all. I'm not entering with any whatchamacallit indicators helping me or anything like that. So you could see the Beige Book, not the Beige Book, the Red Book didn't do a thing today. Now look, one test is meaningless. You got to test 6, I believe, as a minimum. That's my personal rule. If people wonder, how do I make a decision to trade a report as a news report? I do a minimum of between 4 and 6 recent tests of that report. And if it gives me good movement, doesn't have to always be profit, it just has to be good movement, then I will consider it as a trade, a future trade. Okay. So Beige Book, I've got some work to do. I've got 5 to test because last month it tested nicely. And Red Book looks like a bomb. Doesn't look like it's even worth testing almost. But the only way you're going to know is by doing it, right? If you test it, then you have a chance of seeing if there's any activity. So it's very easy to test. You just download the data and run the replay. It's easy. All right. Anybody, any quick questions before we get going? I just wanted, there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Um, I enjoy these educational rooms because, look, we're not tied to any specific time frame. We can do what we want. You can ask questions about our service, not related necessarily to, what we're doing at the exact moment. I mean, I'll answer any question anytime. Did anyone trade the British report this morning? I didn't even look at the news result on those reports. Those are 4:30 reports in the morning. I have not been trading them. Did anybody trade it this morning? But we do have a fair amount of overseas folks out there that are up at 4:30 Eastern time, and they trade the British reports. And some people have been saying that the British reports have not been bad. The other report I'm always interested in, I'm just fascinated by it. I love that zoo. I love the zoo. I love the DAX. And there was a time, I don't know what happened. I think I know what happened. I think the mini DAX killed the big DAX. That's what I think. I think it hurt it. So that you took a report, Chris, let me see, was it 5:30 this morning because of daylight savings time? All the calendars are goofed up, and I've been worried that some of my times are wrong on the trades. I don't trust the calendars this week. But this morning, it would have been 5:30 this morning. Yes. It was British CPI. We call it CPI, even though it was CPI, PPI, HPI, RPI. There were so many things trading. It's ridiculous. It was all negative. I'm not going to look at the zoo result, but that's the report I'm talking about. Did anybody trade that? The British report? Nobody? That's fine. That was at 5:30 this morning. The zoo, that's one I always like to test. I always figure it's going to come back and be very exciting, and it doesn't seem to do it. So the zoo was that 6 o'clock today? That's all I'm looking for is the time. 6 o'clock. I did not look at the result. So if we kept our testing stable, used the 210 tick chart, FDAX 618. We'd go to 6 o'clock, 5:59:40. That's today's date. I did not look at the price action before this, I'm telling you the truth. So if I had set my DAX up, I'm just thinking if I would set it up the same way. Sorry about that. Let me get rid of that extra one I just put there. If I set it up the same way, 4 ticks on the DAX is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. So I'd probably make a change where I would make that probably 8 ticks to see if it was going to work at all. In other words, that first profit target is too small for 4 ticks. But this report, there's no question this report hasn't been working. This is not the normal way I would trade this report. Why don't we do it the right way? Let's do it the right way. It's just a test. So let me leave that the way it was. Let me go back to the NQ. I don't know if anyone has any interest, but this to me was a very fascinating report. Has always been a fascinating report to me. The way that it should be tested, though, is with the regular workspace. And I'll break my own rule a little bit because I don't want to re-enter all my data. I have 2 workspaces open, which I never would do live ever. I wouldn't do it. So it's just so you know. So let's see. I want the FDAX on 618, and this will only take a second. I am not looking at the data. 320, 559, 40, that's where I want to be. So this was the DAX early this morning. You could ignore this clock for a second just so you don't get confused. When you're testing, you're looking at this clock here, okay? You're looking at this clock. And then the zoo test that we used to have a bracket of 10, but it's been such a, it's not, we don't even have a trade anymore. Let me check one thing. I think we used to have a special time entry on the zoo. I don't even know if I can find a zoo in my hires going back. I got to go way back. Let's see, almost a year. That's how long it's been since we traded this. But there was a time when this was one of the most spectacular trades that we ever had. And here's the Hira. I love saving the Hiras, so this way you can go back and test. So we did use a bracket of 6 and a 59-second activation time. That's what I thought. That's what my memory was telling me. So your entry time today would be 5:59:59 because it was a 6 o'clock trade. Usually it's 5 o'clock. Two contracts. I mean, look, the way it's been moving. 8 ticks on the DAX is 4 points. That's nothing. It's very, very little. We have a 10 tick stop, which I always thought was a little bit small. I'm feeling 12 is the right, and I'm going to not do anything with the stop. I just want to see what the movement was. So everybody see my setup. It's just a breakout of 6. It's a 10-second cancel. I'm looking for 8 and 15 ticks, 12 tick stop, and my starting time is 5:59:59. And this was this morning's zoo report on the DAX, which we used to trade. We used to trade it with the 6E also. Time's a little early. I just wanted to make believe I was really testing. And this is just curiosity. It's not a trade we've been trading lately. So it looks like, when you get a fill right to the tick in Sim, I don't always trust that fill. I like to see the fill go past. And it went past by 1 tick, so maybe that was a real fill. But you could see this is the kind of trade you don't like. You want to get a fill and a follow through, and that's what the zoo was so beautiful about doing in the old days. You could see that a bracket of 10 would have kept you totally safe. The IFO, and you could see that you just didn't get any follow through whatsoever on the short side. 12 tick stop. The DAX is expensive to trade. But what I'm really looking for is I don't care that it stopped. I'm looking for that old style movement that the zoo used to give us, and I don't see it. I definitely don't see it. So that was just for my own fun. That's how I have fun by testing news reports. That's what kind of weird dude I am. So Set up the one-click trade real quick. I'm just doing 3 contracts. However, my first position, I'm going to do 2. My second is 0, so I can trail. I'm using a bigger stop than you would expect, and I'm not moving my stop, I'm moving it manually. And I used this method yesterday. I'll show you. I should have recorded it because I was just doing some testing at the end of the day. Yesterday was kind of a gift day. This is the market open. I probably wouldn't be trading real live money at the market open. Let me get out of replay. I'm such a dope. I'm going to have to reset the trade up. I didn't want to be in replay. My mistake. Sorry, folks. So I'm doing 2 and 1. I'm doing 4 and 0. 18. And I've just been experimenting with not moving the stop. It's been working kind of nicely. Trailing. I don't normally trade the open. I mean, I personally find I can't rely on the open to give me uh, a steady move. I have to check my look back. It's probably not high enough. I use a much smaller look back if I'm trading for a news report rather than scalping. The standard look back we've been using is 15. That is completely adjustable by you and totally up to you how you want to do that. I find that 10 is not horrible. All right, so this is the open of the NASDAQ this morning. Yesterday was a gift day, and I'll show you why. If you're a scalper, I don't know if people traded yesterday. Everybody's so quiet. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Not one person has said a thing. Is everybody okay? Everybody okay? All right. Everybody's so quiet. I feel like you're all mad at me. Did I do anything to insult you? I hope not. All right. So there's probably some of you that don't even know what the one-click range trade is. So look, it broke out of the blue for me, but it's very early. A lot of people would give it a half hour before they trade. I've got 2 methods going. I've got one of our members, Patrick, on the right, has a very nice little method that he uses. Irene, you're half awake. I understand. I'm actually very awake, Irene. I woke up very early this morning and I've been testing for tomorrow's FOMC trade. That is a tough trade to decide what to do. So, but I want to show you a couple of things. I still believe I'm not the best scalper. I mean, and I'm not embarrassed to say it. It's not my strength. It's the reason that I became a news trader because I love trading the news. I love those quick trades that I could be in and out of a trade. Now, it looks like the market's going to start by moving up and testing the 200 maybe. Could put the zones on if you want. Steven might talk a little bit if he wants to. I'm not going to force him. I don't mind doing all the talking this morning. Uh, I love these zones. They disappear. However, I'm working on something secret that the next time you see my charts, they may be 100% totally different. I'm working on something really interesting with one of our partners who says he has the holy grail for this trade. And he says he's giving me all his indicators to test on this trade. I think we have pretty good setups. This is a long setup. going on right now. And we're a little bit late, but the market's really not doing much. It's trading in the right place. It's in the middle of the zones, which is good. We don't really have any pattern being created with the candles for Patrick on the right. And now you've gone from blue to red right away. That's always a little bit stronger of a signal than going from blue to yellow consolidation. It's sort of like the squeeze. Do you ever notice the old style squeeze, not the Anna squeeze, but the regular TTM John Carter type squeeze? When it changes color one bar to the next rather than first going to the darker color, then the lighter color, that's a much more powerful move. So that's why now if it bursts through the short, if it bursts through the price right there, the U11, a lot of people would take this trade automatically. Okay, now I may not, it looks like I don't know if I've set this up right yet. Let's see. Because I think what's happening is my other order, yeah, it was being covered. I don't even know what the heck I did. Okay, I see what happened. It stopped me there. I would not have taken that trade, and I'm going to start over because look at the Williams. Look at the Williams. Totally flat. And I did notice that when I put it on. And it didn't, if you look at it, it did not burst through the price. So you could say I took that too early. Okay. Now I could leave it on 280. We could just keep going. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to be a baby and reset my system because I got stopped on that. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. But I see what happened. It still looks right now that if anything, the market's looking up, going up because everything's headed up. All my moving averages are headed up. Let's see if I'm getting it right or if we're just getting opening. I normally would wait 15 minutes at least before I would trade at the open. And now, I missed it. Nothing happened. It didn't go up. Let's see if it follows through. I like to wait. Ultimately, there's a couple of rules that I've been discovering that work really well if you don't ignore them. And I wanted to show you my trading yesterday. My end of the day trading yesterday. Yesterday was a great day to trade. This is what I did yesterday using the one click, 455 bucks in my testing in 20 minutes. But I didn't break any of my rules like I just did. It seems like the minute I get in front of people, I break my rules because I so badly want to have a positive trade that I'll put on a trade when I shouldn't. But normally I like to wait 15 minutes for the market to open. I also am finding that you're getting your best trades when it bursts through the U11. The U11 is the indicator that creates that dashed line. When price bursts through that, either to the downside or to the upside, it tends to give you a much stronger trade than if you just go by the Williams or the dotted line. Now, I think I'm going to wait now because my conditions are not in existence for what I would have taken, for what I was looking for before. Now we're back into consolidation. If anything, it's heading down, but I don't have a downward permission to trade here. Okay. And if you look at the right side, we had no permission to trade really. Maybe at 934. You had permission on that second blue candle. If you had followed that, you probably wouldn't have gotten stopped. Now, interestingly, it is going down. It is heading down right now. Let's see if we can follow it a little bit. See if it'll go down to the zone or if it's just giving us early morning chop. It might just be early morning chop, especially after a day like yesterday. If you saw yesterday, it was amazing. So unfortunately, I'm in this. I didn't want to be. I'm in this, but I'll show you a couple of things that you want to wait 15 minutes. There's no question. You want to wait 15. I want to wait 15 minutes. I don't want to trade. I don't want to trade this early, even though I'm missing these down trades. Now burst through for once. Come on. I'll move my stop manually rather than automatically, but I'm late. See how late I was? I'm only up $40. That's not enough. Okay? It's not enough. But it's going to stop me out. So, okay, slowly but surely you get your money back. Takes time when you do stupid stuff. If you do stupid stuff, you're going to get stopped. I've told you that 1,000 times. So don't ever, ever do anything foolish. You could see the right side that you did have short permission to trade. You had you had uh, moving averages that were sloping downward. And there's also another very interesting thought that I've been having about this trade. And it's one of the reasons I'm not doing it live yet, because until I trade this live and make money on a regular basis, I'm not going to tell people to do what I do because I'm not doing it properly yet. And it's like I said, when I get in a room, I tend to, on this particular trade, I want it to work so badly that I'm not trading according to the rules. I don't know if Steven wants to talk a little bit. Steven, if you want to talk a little bit, say yes or no. And if you do, maybe I'll throw your mic on and you could look at my charts. Now you're in a consolidation here. You have a strong burst up from Williams, but you're in consolidation, so you don't want to go. It may work, and that would have worked. Okay. That would have worked. Look at the green. Look at the green bursting up, but I don't want to chase it here. Love that burst up. Love that burst up. When you get a burst up with that kind of angle, see if you anticipated that, it would have been an awesome trade, but I missed it. I missed it. So you don't want to take it here. Take it here, you'll get stopped. Steven, let's get my 530 back. What do you say? I'll put your mic on. And look at this. This baby is going up. Look at the Williams. Now it's turning down. So well, let's see. We've got tremendous upward slope. Very nice upward slope. And I was way, way late on this baby. You could see how late I was. Get that burst. Let's get a burst. Give me a break. So I made about 30 bucks on that. Didn't it just barely hit my target? Just barely hit it. It still looks to me like this market wants to head up based on the slope of the Williams. It's a strong slope. You're late. You're a little bit late because the blue is so far away now. My profit targets are set up at 4 and trail. 4 and trail. Let's see if it'll burst through that one more time. Williams is heading up. Everything looks like it's heading up. But you could see sometimes it'll hit you have to be so careful. It'll hit your first, it'll get you in the trade, and then it'll stop. It'll stop dead there. So you got to make sure that all of your rules are in place. Now keep moving up and I'll move my stop up. As it goes up, I'll move my stop up. As it goes up, I'll move my stop up. Keep going. Now my stop, no matter what, I'm above my entry. My trail is working. Now, if you move your stop too close, you're going to lose it. Okay. Let's see if it gets up to the zones or if it's done moving. It may be done moving. So I'll take my profit. I'm getting there. But you can see why you don't want to do stupid things. You don't want to start out with yourself in a hole. Okay? Start out in a hole. It makes it so much harder to work. But look at the blue back here. You could have, if you want to trend trade this, at 9:39, which is 10 minutes after the open, 9:40, you were permissioned to trade either side. You had nice trending upwards of your moving averages. So what hurt me is I rushed because I was in the room. KW, I'm just trailing one tick, but I'm moving my stop manually. I'm moving my stop manually because I just find I get more profit if I do it that way. Now it's getting ready to burst through the Williams on the lower side, but it's been moving up so much, I don't really want to take a short. I'm not dying to go short yet because I don't really see a strong reason to go short. Just a slight breakthrough on that Williams when it's in consolidation. Let me put Steven's mic on and let Steven make some comments. He's an expert on this trade. Steven, I'm going to put your mic on. You should be on if you want to talk a little bit. It still looks like it's heading up. You got Williams bursting up, the blue line, but it's still below, so I'm not rushing in. Steven, I don't hear. Does anyone hear Steven? I don't. Now you've got the blue above, burst right above. Let's see if it'll pop through. I have to get ready to move my stop because I'm doing it manually. Now and it'll trail even while I'm moving it. Okay, so it stopped me out. Only made 25 bucks on that one. Might have made a tiny bit more if I would have left the trail alone. If I would have done it Steven's way, which his stop is 4. He does targets of 4 and 6. But I don't think so. I don't think there was anything I could have done about that. But you could see with this trade, if you got to start out with that first trade being positive. You have to. You got to just be patient. If you have to wait a half an hour, you got to wait a half an hour. Obviously, in the room, when we do a room like this, it's hard to wait a half an hour. I don't want you all to just sit there bored to tears, but that's the proper way to do it. It's to wait for the perfect scenario. Okay? If you're trading the right side, which is we've gone over the setups. I have the setup for the right side. If you just want to trade when you get your second blue candle, you can do that. And that gives you permission to go long. Okay? You did have permission to go short. And you might have gotten stopped depending on what your stop is. On this scenario on the right, I know that the stop is at least 30 ticks. So I'm carefully watching here. The market still looks like it wants to burst up to me and make a new high. Okay, that's a pretty powerful magnet. But I have a consolidation going. So I've got to, you're not really supposed to trade with a consolidation. However, there are times, this was not one of them. Sometimes that the market is going in a certain direction. And yesterday was one of those days where the market just sold off so heavily that you could follow, and make some serious money in that kind of market. That kind of market yesterday is a gift market. And, if you're not doing anything, you're not trading news, and you hear on the radio, sell off, sell off, sell off, you can throw this on and see and practice trading the different setups and see how good it works. Now here, you'd still not permission to trade because you've got consolidation. No permission, even if it's going to sometimes work. Something's wrong with your mic. I know, Stephen, I can't hear you. Try plugging it in and unplugging it if it's that type of a mic. Notice that my zones have disappeared. Now it's burst through the price, but I was late. I was late on that, okay? I did not get in that fast enough, I don't think. I think I'm going to get stopped. Because I'm not even sure this market is a short. The Williams shouldn't have taken that trade. Look at the Williams. The Williams is against us. So that was not a good trade to take. It's going to stop us. You can count on it. You can count on it. If you take it with a flat Williams, it's going to kill you. It's going to kill you. Almost every time. Almost every time. If you don't wait for the Williams to work in your favor, it's not going to work. More often than not. More often than not. Now look, sometimes you can get lucky and you can survive it. I don't think I'll survive this. I think all that hard work, I'm going to throw it right back. Throw it right back. 18 tick stop, I believe I was using. Now, because you've gone in wrong, there's no law that says you can't follow it down. Now, I got lucky. All right? I got lucky there. It didn't stop me out. I could follow it down a little bit, make extra money by following it down. It's going down, make some extra money. All right? So I got lucky. I broke the rules. I should have been stopped on that. That's the truth. I should have been stopped. Let's take a breather. I need to take a breather. Keep the range on, find my zones. I think we're in the zone. I wish I knew why these zones. I left a message up on Ninja about these zones. I think someone eventually will get back to me. Why they disappear. I mean, there's sometimes when they're supposed to disappear, and sometimes they're not. So now you've got, see how you were permissioned for your short over here? Second red candle there. It started to permission you here. And if your stop was 30 ticks, I do believe you would have survived it. 3 points, you would have survived it. Sellers are coming in. Yeah, Stephen, I see that you're green. Let me turn you off and on again. You're green, so try it again. I don't know why it's not working. That's a shame. I'd love to have you talk. Let's see if I can get positive after being so negative. What was I, negative 500? Because of foolish, silly trading. Sellers were coming in. Stephen, if you want to make comments, I'll look at them and I'll repeat them. So now I'm not sure 100%. I'm getting conflicting signals. Okay, I'm getting red and blue. I'm getting a downward slope on Williams, but an upward move on the blue line. Yellow. So I'm just going to wait. Okay, I don't really, I mean, I'd like to trade when it goes above through the price. I was too late anyway. Is it going to follow through? Yeah, I think it will. Even though not all the rules are being followed, when you get a burst through the U11, usually that's a good trade. Usually that's a good trade. Look at it now, though. It still has not been a good trade, but I think it is now. No, it's not. It's not. It's getting through, but not by a lot. Look how much it went through. It went 69. No, it went through not badly. Not badly. Still in a consolidation there. But it's looking long. It's still looking long. But your Williams is very flat. Very flat. Do you want to anticipate it? That's a decision. I don't. I fought to come back. I'm fighting to come back. I'd love to get positive. So let me state all the rules. Yellow, waiting for consolidation to come out into a color. Color is going to hopefully give you a direction. Moving averages, black and green. Sloping 30% in the direction of the trade. Popping through Anna U11 and Williams sloping in the same direction with the heavy blue line on top for long, below for short. You don't want to trade when Williams is flat because that normally means the market is going to be pretty flat. The strategy I'm using, KW, is 3 contracts, 2 for 4 ticks, 1 for none, and a stop of 18, and I'm trailing. Okay? There's a lot to be said for 18 being too small of a stop. If you're going to truly scalp, I know Steven uses a 12 stop, 4 6 targets, and he moves his stops to break even plus 2 and break even. And he trades sometimes 30 trades, a day, 40 trades in a day. Because he scalps, scalps, scalps. You can also trend it. Have a big scalp, have a big target, not a big target, have a big stop. And when you see the color come out and you have a lot of, now I was talking, so I missed that short. That short was you did have permission, although the red was late. I think you were permissioned on the short side for that trade. It may still get a second trade out of that, but I'll be quick to cancel this. It's not moving, not really moving the way I want to see it. So I'm going to wait. Now it's going to move, of course, because I canceled it. Of course, there it goes. That's okay. I was late. I was late. All right. So maybe we're getting a retrace. Moving average is a little bit hard to see. Black is not really sloping. So I'm not sorry I canceled it. It didn't really work. Didn't really work. Blue coming out. Coming out of red. What do you mean, Stephen? Paul, what's your settings this morning? So now I'm waiting for a direction to appear. Right now it's looking possibly long. Will it burst through? But Williams, look how flat it is. Paul, what do you use for your entry rules? What are you using for your entry rules? Williams burst down. I see what you're saying, Stephen. I don't know why your webinar doesn't work on Edge anymore. That's strange. It's pretty choppy, pretty choppy. Sometimes you just have to wait, right? Look at the right side. It gave you a little bit of permission to go short there, and that would not have worked. Okay. However, you could have protected yourself by not taking it, by not having a slope on your black moving average there. Looks like it wants to head lower. Slope, I have a nice slope, but I'm not getting price action. Everything is sloped in the right way. Everything's working except good price action on that. So the question is cancel? Probably, because you're now dead center in the middle of the range. Could just be a retrace. Everything is still down except for the Williams blue, the one blue. But it just, see if you get some power to the downside, or if I should have canceled. Need some power to the downside. Not getting it. Definitely not getting it. Come on. Down under 200. And lucky. I think lucky on that because I was late. I'm looking to see. Paul says he's up. Paul says he's up 500 in sim today. First target, 1 second target, second stop loss, 20, first target. Paul, I don't understand what you wrote there. I'm sorry. First target, 1 second target, two stop. Definitely not good direction. Not good direction. Love when you get a burst of the blue, and you can see this blue is starting to head up, and then you're in consolidation, so you're now not permission to trade. But if you get that burst through the price there, so it's an interesting position to put orders on because if you get filled, it'll burst you through the price. Paul, maybe send it to me. Email it to me because I'm not making heads or tails over what you wrote there, unfortunately. I'll show you why yesterday's end of the day was a gift. Well, a lot of yesterday was a gift if you look at the market. So, of course, my big mistake is to jump in too fast. Wait for that open to settle down. Even 5 minutes. If you need that 5 minutes, take it. You don't have to rush. There is no rush. The market will always be there. So you could see there's not a lot of bursting in any direction. My zones disappeared. High of the day is right here. Low of the day is right here. If anything, I'm not feeling super positioned to go short because my blue's not heading down. I'm just coming out now with a red line though. Coming out of consolidation red. Moving averages are barely sloped. I mean, you have to make a decision. Do you want to trade 10 times or do you want to trade once or twice? That's part of your decision. Right now it is sideways. I agree. Steven says it's sideways, and it certainly looks that way to me. You know, when you get such a little tiny pop out of the consolidation, and then look at that, and then you get that big burst. There's no way you can know that's going to happen. You don't want to. Do you want to chase it? I don't think you want to chase it. Now, make sure if you do this that you have your news on, that you're listening. You know, you want to be listening to Bloomberg in the background or CNBC. Make sure nothing terrible is going on in the world. Or if it is, then you know maybe you're working on the short side. You want to know what the markets are doing. You want to take a good look at your dome, see how volatile the NASDAQ is. Okay? Gives you an idea. Right now, price is not really going anywhere at this moment. So you wait. You wait. Back in consolidation. Get yourself centered. And it really is just going up, down, up, down, up, down. Not good scalping conditions if you're going to scalp. Center your price. Make it so that you can see everything nice and clear. Is it deciding to head up? Your Williams is so flat, but it's heading up. It's heading up. It's heading up. It's going to burst through. Is it going to burst through? Or is it a fake out? It's got to be ready. You have a big burst up of the blue, but it looks like a fake out. So I'm going to wait. Looked like it faked me out there. Still in consolidation, so probably shouldn't have taken it anyway. The black is flat, and now it's blue. It's going to burst through that price. Is it? Black is flat. Big burst on the blue, though. But it's not. You're just not getting that follow through. Price is not giving you the follow through. Look at the black moving average. Totally flat. Totally flat. Best to wait when it looks like that. Best to wait. I mean, I was down, what, 5 something? What I would love is for people that are trading this regularly and well to come in and show people what they're doing. Now, we missed the short. Now you're permissioned, okay? And if you would have anticipated it, it would have worked. Everything is heading down now. So the question is it going to follow through or is it done? And this market's been tough. It hasn't been following through. So I may not want to give it more than a second or two. I'll wait. It's not giving me that follow through that I want. So I'll wait. And again, black is just not giving us a good direction. You really want all your moving averages to be sloping nicely. That's when you're going to get, if you look back, this worked nicely. Everything was sloping. Everything was nice and sloping there. Okay. This was very short, but you did have nice sloping there. The best trade really is the early one. Everything looked perfect there, right? It broke out, sloped up, good conditions there. Those are the conditions you're looking for. It's feels very sideways right now. Questions? Anybody? Anybody questions? What you want to do is test, find your, of course, it's easy to see after. Always easy to see after. Always easy to see after. But seeing after is just a good lesson in when to do things. The black moving average, the 20, is just totally flat. The Williams, totally flat. You're best not trading. You're best waiting. Better off waiting. Don't give the market your money. I even hate giving it sim money. I hate it. It bothers me. Especially when I jump into a trade too early. That makes me nuts. There's no reason to do that. Boy, it's getting ready to go. Everything's sloping, sloping, heading down, but still not really getting much follow through. Not getting much follow through. That's the problem. It's going to fill me unless I cancel. We're not getting that price action. Come on, shoot through. Now get some follow through. There's some follow through. Little bit. Little bit. Need a little more. Stop at break even. And it stopped me out. So I'm getting close. 70 bucks on that. 70 bucks. I was 220, right? 220, but I had everything working in my direction. And Paul says it's fighting a buy zone. Paul, where are you getting your buy zone? Just curious. What are you using? Your NOF zones? Everybody has different setups that they use. Paul uses zones from NOF. Paul, I won't tell you what I read about NOF last week. Terrible stuff by Dr. You know who. So we don't look, if anything, the market's looking short, not long. Look at that move down that we missed, most of it. We only got one small trade out of that. Again, hard, easy to see it after, but black was very flat. Really weren't permissioned. But I'm permissioned here, Everything is heading down. Everything except price. Okay? Everything except price is heading down. Come on, shoot through. See how it shot through and changed direction? That's the worst thing that can happen to you. That's what kills you. That's what kills you. I had permission. I think I had permission to trade. It was just bad luck. Bad luck in a choppy market. Bad luck in a choppy market. But I had permission. I think I had permission. I think that what I would have, if had I been trading that myself, I would have done something. I would have brought my orders into the range and gone short way sooner. Steven has a buy at 94.25. I can see that too. Let's see if we can get a shot to the downside. Look at the permission there. Get a test of the low. Everything except consolidation was on your side to trade and no follow through. So think about that. Think about that. Zones, can't get them to work. Here's a sell at 82.75. Right at the bottom of the range there. $82.75 sell. See if it works. Need that follow through. Need that follow through. See if we can get it. Give me a burst. Good call, Stephen. It's going to test the low, right? Tested the low, made quite a bit on that trade. Stephen, just curious, what was why 82.75 on that? So you had very nice permission to trade. You had a nice slope. Look at the slope in the Williams. The only time you didn't, even when the consolidation was active, you had a nice slope in the Williams. I can't read what you're saying there, Stephen. It was below the low. Oh, it was below the low by 3 points. Okay. You have permission. You almost have permission to go up, but your Williams is not quite there yet. But you burst through the price. You could have made it as you burst through the price there. I'm late now, so I'm not going to chase it. I'm late. My trade was a burst through the price, and I would have made my first target. But that's all I would have made. It looks like it didn't have follow through. Or maybe, who knows? Maybe it's got some follow through. Williams is very flat there. However, you ever feel that you could feel the market going in a certain direction? That one you could feel. It's too late. I feel like I'm too late now. I don't like to chase. I have permission. I mean, I don't have the greatest slope I've ever seen on the Williams, but everything is sloping up. Everything. Everything is sloping up. You still desperately need to hit that first target. If you don't hit that first target, you're in trouble. And if you don't hit it fast, it's usually trouble, right? If you don't hit it fast, it'll turn around and get you. That's what usually happens. Now, don't forget, you don't have to watch it stop you out either. You could lose 90. You could move your stop up right now and lose 40 if you wanted to, right? You don't have to take a full stop. Come on, give me some action. Go up, go up, go up, go up. I'm awfully close to the stop. There we go. Keep going. If I'm patient, let's see if I can wait. Try to be a little patient. Try to be patient. Okay. Okay. Not bad. Got a bit of that move. And I was late on that too. It still looks like it wants to go up. God, I hate to chase. Everything is permissioned. Everything is permissioned there, but it's so late. You might be better off to wait. Oh, it's going to pop up. You can feel it. Will it burst? I'm not going to give it a chance if it doesn't do it quick because I've come back too far. I'd rather wait for perfect conditions. And look at the right side. You were permissioned, very permissioned. Okay. That might be a safer way to trade. That's what I'm deciding. Maybe the stop needs to be 30. I mean, that's the stop that Patrick uses on the right side. He uses a 30 tick stop. 18 ticks is not very much for a volatile NASDAQ. You have to be very perfect in your choices. Very perfect with a stop that small. And with Steven's stop of 12, that's why he trades so many trades. He's happy to take a $45 trade and then take another 45 and then another 45 or 40. I'm trying to find a way to take a little bit more out of each trade. It's not easy. Now, you have a change in direction, but Williams is not going to allow you to trade this. Not yet. Are you going to trade it though as it bursts through the price? You're allowed, right? Just for fun, what you could do, move your move your targets up to the burst in price. Don't wait, right? It might work. Sometimes it'll work. It might not work this time. It's going to get me. And I was just showing a technique. Believe me, I'm not saying to do that. But I did that yesterday, all once in the afternoon on my first trade. Now, I don't love, again, I don't have to leave my stop this small. If I want to leave my stop there, I can. If I think the price is going down, I could take the risk and move my stop higher. There's no law about where your stop is. You could still get killed, and I'm going to get killed. Bingo, right? But what I did is you better be sure that you know the market's going in the direction you think it's going. I thought that if I grab my price early, it would burst through the price here. And you could see what it did. It popped through and then stopped and went the other way. Okay. So you got to be very careful if you do that technique. So the question is, will I survive by increasing my stop or will it kill me? But keep in mind what I did here. I was just showing a technique. Okay. And I want to show you that technique again. It's very interesting and it often works. Now I could get out of here profitable right now, right? I could have gotten out of here with no loss by zipping my stop down right now. Now that's a miracle that I didn't get killed on that trade. It's a miracle. Okay? A miracle. Because I broke every rule in the book on that. I shouldn't have. What I was showing you though is that sometimes you can put a trade on. This is going down. And if you know it's going down, you could move yourself into the trade. I'm going to wait because I want to see a better condition. I need a better condition for it. And right now, I'm not sure it's going to do it. Like yesterday afternoon, when I was trading yesterday afternoon, it was the kind of day where the market had been going down all day. You knew at the end of the day the market was going to go up. So you could safely take the longs. And I was able to safely take a long a little bit earlier than waiting for my zone to break. I was able to bring my price into the range, get long, and follow it up a little further. And I had a bigger trade because of that. If you know the market's going in a certain direction, and there are times when you will know it, not often, but sometimes the market will give you that gift. It'll give you that gift. And you can bring your trade in a little quicker if that happens. And it just shows the power of the size of the stop. On the NQ with volatility, if your stop is too small, it's harder to survive, much harder to survive. But of course, you've got to be willing to risk more if you use a bigger stop. Okay. Questions? Anybody? Anybody? So the key Get a setup that works for you. Get a setup that works for you and practice it over and over and over. They are out there. And I haven't decided if I want to use the colored candle method, which is a very nice method. It's a little bit more of a trend style. Now here you might have a buy right there, right? I missed it. I missed it. I think I'm late. Late to the party. Definitely late to the party. It might still get my target, but I was late to the party. Okay, it's going to stop me out flat for about 40 bucks. And that's because I was talking. I was late. I was late. However, I think it's going up. Now I think it's heading up. And again, I was late. I wanted that burst. Would have been nice to have that burst. But look at the power of the movement upwards. You've got very nice trending up. Okay. It should hit my target. It should hit my target. No reason to let it sit. Might as well trail it up now. Manually, my trail ended. Wow, look at this, folks. That's a victory, no? Questions? Anybody? Questions? But you see, if you don't take stupid trades, you could make money. Don't take the stupid ones like I did when I first got here. It still looks like it wants to head up. Still permission there. Go up a little more. Go up a little more. All right, I'm positive. Look at that. I'm positive. It's going up. It's going up. It's going to test the high. I think it's going to test the high. All right? Looks like it. Looks like it wants to. I'm positive. No matter what, I'm positive. If it would be nice enough to go up, I would love it, but it won't. All right. All right. It's hard work, but I got positive after being down hundreds of dollars. And I'm not the best scalper in the world. Okay? Questions, anybody? If I can do this, you can do it. If I can do this, you can do it. So find a setup that works. Find a setup that works for you. Get the zones working. I'm taking a breather. I'm positive. I need a rest. I'm beat. I have a headache. No, I'm kidding. Uh, get the. I really wish those zones would work. I love them. They're really helpful. Somebody must have some questions for me. Somebody. Anyone? The next time I come back into the room, I may have some amazing indicators, or it may just be a disaster. I don't know yet. I honestly don't know. Questions? Anybody? Please ask me a question. Do you think this is real? I think it's real. I lost 400 to 500 and I gained it back. And look at how I was permissioned to trade. If you look at that line, right? Don't trade when you're in consolidation. You're safer. Be safe. I could have been way up if I didn't jump into those two early trades. Okay. I could have been way up. It still looks up to me. It made a new high, broke through it, and it did make a nice move an hour after the open. 10:30, it did make that nice little move. Question, anyone? Anybody have any questions about tomorrow's FOMC trade? What Paul says is so true about everything we do here. People have to make this system their own. Find the settings that work for them and just fine tune it and test, test, test. I can't say anything more incredibly perfect than that. That's JOBB in a nutshell. I I can't hand you every trade because I'm just not going to do it. I'm not good enough to hand you every trade. I'd love to hand you every trade like magic. I can hand you some, but ultimately, you want to trade when I'm not around. Like, take a look at yesterday. If let's take 5 minutes. Let's just take 5 minutes. I downloaded yesterday's replay data. Yesterday was a pretty amazing day. Look at that. I was just watching it, getting ready to go short. Oh, it's going down now. Too late? Too late? I'm going to quit while I'm ahead today, folks. I'm quitting while I'm ahead. Let me show you yesterday. Look at the moving averages. They're nicely sloping, but you're in a consolidation. But you're going to have you're going to see it's going to pop out of the yellow because it's heading down. It's going to pop into a red any second. The yellow is slow. The yellow is slow. And there's the red now, finally. It was way late, way late. Look at it. Look how late it was. Very late. But if you look at even the Williams didn't give you a great indication of this trade. If you would have waited until Williams really gave you a nice trend, it still would have worked. Okay? I think most of the time you can wait for Williams. Look, wait for Williams, nice trend, follow it up. Wait for Williams, good trend, follow it up. Okay? I think if you want to find something you can count on, it looks to me like you can count on Williams. Even if you miss all of this red in the beginning, if you wait for the Williams at 10-10 here, you had a nice move down, you still would have had a nice trade. Okay? After it came out of being flat, Williams still worked. And if your range was bursting through the price and your line was red and your moving averages are sloping, you might have had a good reason to get in. Okay? Yesterday, the end of the day was quite interesting. That last half hour was great. I didn't see the rest of the day, but I'm guessing the rest of the day yesterday was an amazing moneymaker for scalpers. So if I connect my market replay, go to yesterday was the 19th. 2018. If you go to 3:30, that's when I was trading it, I believe. Keep in mind the market had been down all day, or a lot of the day. It had been very down, very down. I had my same setup. Whoops, maybe my setup is still there. Okay, it's still there. I had my same setup, the one click, everything that we saw before, 2 contracts, 4 ticks, moving my stop on my own. Okay. Press replay. Hang on a second. Did I forget to enable it? What did I do? Forgot to put it on replay. That's why it wouldn't enable. And I got to the market just about when it was kind of done going down. And I was on the end of the day, so I want to set it up exactly the way I traded it. I was using a smaller look back because time was running out on me. I didn't want a big look back. I just wanted 10 bars. That's what I used yesterday in the afternoon. So I want to use the same thing. And I was not trading short. I was waiting. I got to the market when the shorts were done. Because if you look at my picture, my end of day scalping, here's what the market looked like. And this was 4:15 right here. It was 4:15. The market was done. So this must have been okay. It was later than I thought. I was trading the last 15 minutes, 4 to 4:15. Okay. So it was 4 to 4:15. So we can zoom this forward to 4 o'clock. So it's 3:58:14. You could see things were starting to look up now. Were positioned to go up long before, because what had happened, the market was down a lot all day. So I was looking long side pretty much exclusively. And I'm certainly permission to take it here. But what I was doing is I felt the long side was so possible, I moved my order down. Okay. I left my stop, made sure I was below the range. Okay. And I moved my extra targets way up. But I want to get my first target hit. That's critical. You want to get your first target hit. Okay, now I made a mistake in that, in just demonstrating this, I made an error, so it's not going to work. I think I didn't realize my target was hit already. point I'm making, anyway, it doesn't really matter. This is sim. I'm just trying to show you a technique. I knew the market when at the time that I started trading it, it was a little bit later than this. You could see I'm going to survive this because this market's going to head up. Even though I don't have a stop, I think I'm going to survive this. I have a stop, but it should go up. At 4 o'clock, it started heading up. So there it goes. It's above my entry. So I could be patient. It should be heading up. The market just went up and up and up and up and up at the end of the day. And I knew it was going up, so I brought my order down into the zone. Okay? I brought my order down into the zone. It can be dangerous to do that. But if you know the market's going up, you're going to get your money. Okay? And I knew it was going up. I wouldn't even keep my stop that close in a market that I know is going up because why get stopped out just because you're afraid of getting hit when you could move your stop a little bit further down and survive the move up? Chantal, what do you mean? Even if I get stopped now because I know this market was heading up at the end of the day because I already traded it, I'm showing you that when you are lucky enough to know that there's a potential gift going on, like the market was really negative for a large part of the day yesterday, right? It did some heavy selling off. Very often, not always, but very often, when you go through a day like that where it's selling, 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 right? Where you have a lot of selling, at the end of the day, you'll get some positive trades. And you can see we're flat still, so I'm not ready yet to go in, but I'm getting ready because I knew the market was down all day. I figured I've got about 15 minutes where I think the market's going to go up. I think this market's going up. So I brought my price into the zone, got filled, and watched it keep hitting my targets. Okay? It kept hitting my targets. Okay? That's my only point is sometimes if you're 100% sure that you've got your analysis right and you know that market's going a direction you can try and get into the trade early. Okay? And then don't keep your stop so close that you get stopped out without taking advantage of making some money, like I just did here. I'm too close. Okay? I'm still up. I wound up like I showed you. I mean, I was testing, but I was still up $400. Okay? I knew at the end of the day this market was heading up. I just kept trading it. Kept trading it. Put my order as low as I thought I could get away with because I knew it was going up. I had blue lines, I had sloping indicators, and I knew as at the end of the day, okay. Now, of course, you could still get caught in a pullback. It's no guarantee, and that's why you have to have your setups and be careful. All right. Any last questions, folks? Any last questions? I hope this is helpful. The key, as Paul says, make this system your own. This is a gift from us to you. We've given you this trading technique that's part of our software now, and you can do what you want with it. You could do it as a trend trade. You don't have to do it as a scalp. You can trend trade it. There's no law that says you have to scalp and take a 4 tick target. You could take a 40 tick target. The indicators, Donald, some of them you have to become a member of Futures IO for $85 to get the indicators. They gave us a discount of 15%. Steven, let me put your mic on. I'll put it on. It's on now.
Testing.
There you go. It's working. It's working.
All right.
What'd you do?
There, when you put on the Google browser, it asks you if you're going to be using a microphone.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's what the problem was.
I was just replaying yesterday's. It ended like the last 15 minutes, which were a gift.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to go, so I'm sorry we missed you today. That was a nice trade you threw me. That helped.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple of them, but thing I wanted to show was actually the GOM indicator as well.
You want to show it?
I can just to show.
I can give you the screen. I'll throw you the screen because I
All
didn't
right.
understand how to use it. I don't think. Let me see if I can make you a presenter. I should be able to.
Okay.
Let's see. I think this is one of our days, Stephen. It won't let me do it.
Oh, okay. All right.
It won't let me do it. It says you're connected, mute you, but when I try to change presenters, hold it.
All right.
Before I give up, let me just try one more thing.
Maybe I have to go over and do something.
No, I don't think it's you. I think there's something just not right on my system this morning. I don't know why. Usually I can just click on you and it'll do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm using a different browser because Microsoft Edge doesn't work.
Right.
Something's wrong with it and screwing it up.
All right. Maybe next time what we'll do is we'll prepare a little bit beforehand. I'd like to see those the GOM.
Okay.
Which are the correct ones to load? The one are they on Futures IO?
Yes, and you're looking for the delta.
Okay, GOM delta, GOM delta.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And those are the I use the momentum and I use the GOM CD.
Okay.
And that tells you what the delta is doing, what the buyers and sellers are doing.
So are there actually two, or is it all part of one?
No, that's all part of one.
Okay.
You download and they give you like 4 different indicators, but I only use those 2.
Okay. All right, sounds good. All right, We'll set it up for the next one. I'll definitely have another room probably next week for sure.
All righty. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
Right, Joe. Right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay, folks. So any last questions before we go? Donald, let me tell you which indicators are free. If you look at the indicators I have set up, ADVXMA alerts, I think that one's on Futures IO. Chantal, you might remember too. Williams AD, I don't know where the heck. You know what? Donald, I have a sheet. Why don't you send me an email and I'll send you the sheet? I'll send you the sheet. It tells you where to get almost all the indicators. If you send me an email, I'll send you that sheet. Futures IO for Williams AD0 lag, Steven's telling me. And a super trend. And the ADVXMA alerts are Futures IO for sure. They're on Futures IO. So people that want to trade this, Donald, you have to make an investment of $85 to get some of the indicators that aren't free. Because we're not allowed to give indicators that aren't free. It's just not, I would if I was allowed to. It's not legal for us to do that. We get in trouble. Okay. But this is, if you want to take a snapshot, these are all the indicators I use on that chart. I have the 13 EMA. I have a 200 SMA. I have my red SMA. You could see how the price went up at the end of the day. I had 9 minutes left. I literally was just going long like a crazy person. But if you send me an email, I can send you a sheet, Donald, of the indicators that you need. But right here, you could see it was pretty safe. See, it already filled me even before I got a chance to move. It was just going up and up and up at the end of the day. So I could follow it, and you could see you want to be able to take advantage of those time periods where you know the market's going to give you a little bit of a bonus. Sometimes the market will help you. You don't have to trade the open when you don't know what it's going to do, right? There's no law that says you have to trade the toughest time of the day. Trade the easiest time of the day. All right? But this is what happened to me at the end of the day yesterday. It was easy. It was easy trading because the market just showed its hand at the last 15 minutes. You have to have the guts to trade those last 15 minutes, but you could just see it was just handing it to you. It said, please take these. All right, folks. Any last questions before we go? Everybody's good? Okay, so our next appointment, you all know where the schedule is. Pretty much everyone here is a member, so I believe that I will see you everybody tomorrow for actually existing home sales. We have a room with the energy report before FOMC tomorrow. Okay? So I'll see everybody for that in the morning. All right? Take care, everybody. I'll see you in the morning. So long.